Alright guys, today I'm working on an Acer A515 laptop. For this one we're taking it apart to get to the DC jack that's broken on it. In the first step here we're going to take all the screws out of the bottom and remove the bottom panel. Just got to make sure all these screws come out, then we can use a pry tool to get that bottom panel off. And I like to use a guitar pick as a pry tool. It's usually pretty good, pretty safe, not going to damage the laptop. So you just want to pick a spot, start around the edge there and go all the way, and just try to get as much of that laptop bottom case to come up. And then once it comes up enough, you can gently take it with your hand and remove it, like I'm doing here. I typically like to remove the battery first, disconnect the battery first. You don't want any power to the laptop when you're working on it. This one isn't even screwed in. You just remove that power cord and lift it right out. And then next, everything else has to be detached from the motherboard. All the cables detached and some parts detached. There's the Wi-Fi being removed first, and then a cable that connects the I/O board. And those little cable connectors, you want to flip them up as carefully as you can. It's like a flip up, unlock, flip down to lock. So once it's unlocked, you can remove the cable. So that's going to be the hard drive cable, the I/O board cable, typically the touchpad, and the keyboard and the backlight cable are all common ones that need to come undone. And that keyboard cable, you just undo each side. It's like a lock and unlock, just like the flip, but instead of flipping up and flipping down, you just want to pull it out. And next, the SSD drive is coming out. You just unscrew that and it will come up, and then you remove it safely. And I like to pry up on the CMOS battery. I don't really want to disconnect it from the computer and lose all my BIOS settings, so I'll just take it and just undo it from the casing. The next one there is the LCD cable. At this point, you can start to remove the fan and the heatsink. In this case, in the A515, you need to remove 2 hinge screws. That hinge is coming over the motherboard and blocking it, so those screws need to be removed so you can lift up the hinge and gain access to the motherboard. And then the motherboard screws themselves need to come out as well so the board can come up. And then now all the motherboard screws are out, and you can take out the board and disconnect the fan. And now you have access to replace the jack. This one's a little loose, and you can kind of hold it in just the right way to get it to work. And it needs to be desoldered from the board and a new jack soldered back on.